Hey, Mama. Before we get back into today's episode, I want to invite you into something really special. On January 12th, I'm hosting a completely free workshop called Your 2026 Vision, the Year You Rise. And this isn't just another goal setting session. This is a full body pause, a moment to breathe, a moment to ask yourself who you want to be a year from now. And what's it going to take to actually get there? If you've been feeling stuck, overwhelmed, or craving clarity, if you know there's a version of you that's been waiting to rise, this space is for you. We're going to get really honest about what you want, what's been holding you back, and what gets to change going into 2026. So you can step into a year that feels aligned, intentional, and exciting. It's powerful, it's grounding, and it may just be the thing that shifts everything. Save your seat using the link in the show notes. It's totally free. All right, Mama, let's get back to the episode. Welcome to Radiant Mom Rising. Get ready to be inspired, empowered, and uplifted. I'm your host, Mary Dibble, and in each episode, we dive into amazing stories, insights, and conversations that help moms like you chase your dreams and embrace your worth. Let's rise and shine together. Hey, Radiant Mamas. Welcome back to another powerful episode of Radiant Mom Rising. Today's conversation is one that feels like taking a deep breath you didn't even realize you've been holding. I'm joined by the incredible Karen Bartholomew, founder of Sanctum and creator of the Pause Method, a transformational journey that helps women release emotional clutter, find themselves beneath years of expectations, and reclaim their inner power. This episode is going to land deeply if you've been feeling stuck, heavy, disconnected from yourself, or ready for a fresh start. And before we dive in, I'm so excited to share this with you. Registration is officially open for my brand new workshop, Your 2026 Vision, the Year You Rise, happening January 12th at 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. This is your space to reset, realign, and step into the woman you want to be in the year ahead. I'll share more at the end of the episode, but Mama, if you're listening, I promise this is something you're meant to be part of. Now let's get into today's beautiful conversation. Welcome back. Today we're here with Karen. Karen, thank you so much for joining us on the show.
Oh, you're so welcome. I'm so happy to be here.
Oh, I'm excited to have you here. Let's get started. If you will, just introduce yourself to the audience and tell us a little bit about who you are and what you do.
Oh, well, of course. All right. Well, I'm Karen Bartholomew, and basically I'm here because I am the founder of Sanctum, which is a sacred space for women to actually find their truest selves. But really, I create transformational spaces, where women step into their truest self and they get to rewrite their narratives from past conditioning and constraints to actually move into the next chapter of truth and freedom. And so there's a lot into that, which we can talk about today when you ask me questions. But really, I created a pause method from that because of the journey that I went on. I didn't realize what I was doing, and I finally was like, wait a minute, I can put this into a method and help other women based on my journey of the last 15 years. And so that's what I did. And it's just been a great movement, for women in leadership, women in, corporate America, women just starting out in their entrepreneurship roles, moms at home, women that are getting divorced and starting a new chapter. It doesn't matter. We all are stuck in these past messages in our subconscious. And if we can free from those lies we tell ourselves and move into this next chapter of true self, our true essence in our femininity, then the world opens up for us.
It does. It does. And I love that you're on this journey of helping people. And I'd love to hear a little bit more about your own personal journey. If you'll share with us a little bit of what you experienced that led you to even create this pause method that has helped you.
Yeah, so I think in 2010, somebody introduced me to a self-development class. And what it was being able to really see how I played life. I didn't know what I was walking into. I just literally blindly said, I'm sick of life. I'm sick of whatever I'm doing. I'm just sick of myself. I was a single mom of 3 small children, a newborn, a 5-year-old, and a 11-year-old, I believe. Yeah, they're 6 years apart. And, and I was doing it myself. And I wanted to really figure out this journey that I had been on that I didn't understand. How did I get to an isolated city by myself, divorced with 3 small children and no family to help me?
Oh my
And
goodness.
so, I went back and figured out that, it all stemmed back from my childhood, which is most of our conditioning does.
Yeah.
But when I really was able to go back without any judgment or any opinions and go, what happened? Just from a factual standpoint, right?
Mm-hmm.
I realized that it really happened when I was young, like 8 to 12 years old. I had some
Yeah.
trauma that happened to me with a past, distant family member. And it happened when I look back at it and I go, I felt unloved, not seen, not heard, felt like I didn't matter at different phases, up and down like a roller coaster, right?
Yeah.
And so, because of those words that turned into my stories and my narrative as a small
Mm-hmm.
child, I took those into the adult world. And of course, that was my truth. And so, our brain, our mind is going to
Yeah.
like make that true for us. So, I ended up picking people and relationships that made that true,
Wow.
that would leave. I've been married a couple times. I've now been was single for 26 years, raising my kids by myself. But then also, because I isolated myself to
Mm.
not see that I mattered or I loved or seen or heard, then I moved to a town all by myself to raise my children. I got divorced. Yeah, it's just like craziness, right?
The
So,
patterns.
I always say to everybody, be careful. Everybody has a personal genie,
Yeah.
whether it's an Aladdin or a genie. Be very
Mm.
careful to what you think and what you feel because all of that you're saying to yourself will come true. And so to really dive in to help women like be free of those subconscious constraints through a process really gets people starting to think, wow, if I didn't have all that, and those are really lies and not truths
Mm-hmm.
today, right?
Yeah.
Then how would I show up in the world?
Exactly.
It's almost like if we didn't have a history, we wouldn't have any fear because we just
Right.
go about our business, right?
Well, you got to think about kids, how like they're just so innocent. They're so fearless. They don't know anything until they're taught. So it's like it's a big part of that understanding, and I feel like that's been such a relief in my journey is learning that, is understanding that, because without knowing how the past has, molded you so far,
Yeah,
you can't make any changes, right? You just keep
exactly,
living on the
exactly.
autopilot. Yeah, I thought that was
So true.
amazing to see how like we create our own suffering, we create our own circumstances, and being able to take back that responsibility, but also like learn how to really release it. Like it's like I understand feeling the feelings, but not staying there. I think that's where some people get stuck. I see is that they'll like want to heal, but they want to stay in the feelings. They want to stay almost in that victim mentality. How do
Yeah.
you help like get what would you say to someone like that who might be on like a healing journey of really discovering about their wounds, their trauma from their past, and going from that to really moving forward?
Well, I think that,
Yeah.
it starts with, understanding what's really draining your energy and how really to release that emotional clutter that we carry around, right? We always say
God.
like it's like a backpack of like 50 hammers. It's so heavy. When are you going to be willing to let that go?
Mm,
Versus just continuing to carry that around from person to person to person in your life or relationship to relationship or your
mm.
kids,
Uh-huh.
right? And to
Yeah.
really reconnect with what really feels good. I think that we've lived in such suffering for so long in that victim mentality that we don't know how to get out of it. And so when someone says, let's be responsible, I'm like, well, I'm not responsible for what that person did to me.
Yeah.
Like, I get that, but like, you know, but you're responsible for how you're carrying it forward
Mm.
like you said, right?
Yep.
So we always go back, and my thing is like, let's build some new rhythms of rest and reflection and intentional action and look at that and go, yes, that happened, but when did that happen? That happened between the ages of 8 and 11. I can use myself for that, right?
Yeah.
I'm like, that happened 8 and 11. If I look back on that, I can understand for a little girl that didn't feel loved and seen and heard, and to have somebody in my life that was like, oh yeah, just, I'll love you, but not in the right way, right? Because
Yeah.
they have their own stuff,
Tough.
right?
Yeah.
I could see how that would happen. That doesn't
Hmm.
mean that I condone what happened. I mean, that's
Yeah.
not right,
Yeah.
right?
Absolutely.
However, I can see how it happened, right? I can see now as an adult, but that was truth then.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not that small child anymore. So, like, is it truth today that I'm not safe, that I'm not
Mm.
loved, and I'm not seen and heard and matter? And I can go, yeah, I can pull up all kinds of evidence from then, but does it belong here? And the answer
Yes.
is no, it doesn't. But we're still living life as if that's our identity,
Yes.
right?
Yeah.
So what I do is I help women to go, that's that. We're acknowledging that. Thank you so much for sharing that. That took a lot of, a lot of courage for you to bring that forward. And everybody here in the room is actually learning from your experience, because I'll say, how many women in the room can relate to that? Like, we
Hmm.
get so many hands up,
I
right?
know, right?
Just the normal thing of not feeling safe, right?
Hmm.
Because so much trauma in their childhood, right? And so, but today, is it true today? Like, look at your world today. Like, what's going on in your world today, right? So
Yeah.
let's just,
Hmm.
take one that's a little easier that a lot of women can, I'm not safe. So if you had some trauma in your past life of I'm not safe, right? And I had
Yeah.
like alcoholic parents or whatever, and I never knew if I was going to get hurt, or I had to hide, or all these things that you have to do. And then you come into the real world and we go like, but is it true that you're not safe today? Like, you have a great husband, a great family, a safe house, a safe community, a safe job. Are you in danger on
Hmm.
a daily basis? Now, of course, the women have to be careful. We don't want to walk in dark without, a man with
Oh,
us
yeah.
and stuff like that. So
Yeah.
do be responsible,
Yes.
but
Yeah.
like, but not the
Yeah.
trauma, not
No.
that.
Hmm.
Right.
Not
So
that.
today it's not true. And
Yeah.
this is when we get to start, dissecting what's fact and fiction,
Yes.
and
That's a
know
big one.
that what happened there, we put words into stories and then we turn them into our reality and our identity. And really, we have such a great imagination, don't we?
Oh, we do.
That
Yes.
like we can rewrite that
Yeah.
imagination.
Hmm.
Like, let's rewrite that.
Yeah.
Because
I
how
love.
would you show up today, right
Yeah.
now, if you knew you were completely safe?
Mm.
And so what happens is people's nervous systems don't know how to relate with that.
Yeah.
And when they go, God, I don't know, I have no idea. I don't know. And so you just allow people to take that time, because you could see their nervous system relax when they really start to like, be able to go, wow, I'm just truly safe.
Hmm.
Now, how would you show up in the world? Very different. And so I think the first step, is just a pure awareness, just pure awareness. Notice the thought and catch it in real time. You know, can you just rest and unravel it a little bit without any judgment?
Yeah.
I mean, that's the first piece, just to perceive and become aware, right?
It always is. I mean, like you say, we can't make changes until we are even aware of what we're doing, how our behaviors are, what are
Exactly.
our patterns, what are our beliefs. Like, I mean, that's something for me. I always love bringing to the table is like, how are you talking to yourself? Like, what are you saying?
Mm,
What are the things you're saying about yourself? Because that really speaks volumes to what you're allowing in your life. So it's
yeah.
like, that was a huge thing for me of a story I always share. It's like just remembering as a child that, seeing my mom diss herself and call herself fat and just immediately didn't even realize how much that subconsciously got stuck inside of me to where even though I
Yeah.
wasn't fat, I honestly saw myself as fat growing up and ended up led me down to eating disorders and feeling like insecure about myself. And I didn't even put two and two together at the time. Like you say, it's one of those things sometimes as you get older, you really recognize the generational curse, the
Yeah.
generational, conditioning and things like that. And it's like, but what I love is this right here. What we're doing is like being like, we do not have to allow our past to dictate who we are today and where we're going for our future. And that is what I think life coaching and what this whole mission that I'm on is so powerful. And what I'm all about is helping moms to see that you don't have to stay stuck. You don't have to
Yeah.
keep struggling. You get to decide where you want to go, but it does take work. And it's more of the inner
Yes.
work that so many people want to skip over that is like crucial to really creating new habits, new patterns, new beliefs so that you can make space for what's meant for you. And that is why like I said, I admire the work that you're doing because it's so crucial. I love even your name, the pause method, because I was one of those people who's like always on the go, 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 go. Have to keep doing, doing, doing. And recently I dived into human design and realized that
Oh,
as an energy projector, just learning more about myself and realizing that apparently like I need rest. Like that actually helps me more than anything. And so I love the challenge of being able to like when I catch myself, like you say, having that awareness that like, okay, I'm getting overwhelmed, I'm feeling a little stretched, just stop. Like how
Yeah.
powerful, just a pause, how stopping. And I will tell you, my body will fight me tooth and nail when I first started doing that. I mean, it makes you're so uncomfortable, right? In those moments when you
Yeah.
first start making those little changes of challenging yourself against what you've believed or done for so long, it's incredible. Like how your own body fights you, but it's the most amazing thing is if you just stay with it and like just keep going.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so I always say, slowing down isn't falling behind, it's catching up
Yeah.
to who you're always meant to be. But
Oh,
we have to
I
figure
love
out
that.
who we
Yeah.
are, right? But if you
Yes.
stay busy in the hustle bustle, because
Yes.
this culture does reward, it glorifies exhaustion basically, right? And
Mm-hmm.
so pausing can feel real rebellious to a lot of women,
Oh, yeah.
okay? And so, it's not about quitting your goals. It's not,
Yeah.
leading yourself down some crazy anxiety trap, but I also want, I heard you say, it's a curse. So I wanted to like make comment to language is really, 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 really slippery.
Yeah.
Okay. Because a curse is like, how do you get rid of a curse? Well, in our world, a curse is a curse. It's there forever. So that's what I'm
Yeah.
saying, because you're saying that, right?
Yeah.
So we have to be really careful what we're saying, right? Because it's not. You can
Yeah.
change that at any given time. So yeah, so we just got to be really careful with our language, and
Yeah.
I say slowing down is very courageous, super courageous,
Yeah.
because you know when we do, the image of losing control, right? It can be overwhelming, because we have to face ourselves, our grief, our fear, our unmet needs. And so, to take a moment to feel instead of like, no, I don't have time to feel. I'm going to whack it down, right? Like a whack-a-mole, that stupid thing in the
Yeah.
fairgrounds, right? Like every
Yes.
time you have a feeling and you're whacking down, you're
Yes.
whacking, I got to keep going. I got to keep going, because that's what society tells us to do, right?
Yeah.
And then we're not only as women taking on our feminine side, but a lot of time we're taking on the masculine side as well, which we should have
That's
never picked up.
yeah. Yeah.
I know I did as a single mom for so long because I had to do it all. But really, I could have just asked for help sooner. Like I don't need to
Yeah.
do that. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And
Yep.
so now my flag fell down here during the last storm. And my neighbor came over and I'm like, Jeff, would you please help me? Right? And he literally like reattached it as I was going out to the grocery store.
Nice.
So
Nice.
I'm like, okay, right? Why not? Right? So why
Yeah.
do I have to do that or figure that out? Right? So
Yeah.
we just have to like, breathe, just breathe through it,
Mm-hmm.
and so yeah, and so when I talk about the pause, that awareness piece is really, 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 really important, to actually
Yes.
really do it with no judgment on yourself or opinion,
Yeah.
you know and then
Exactly.
you have to acknowledge, what are you feeling, like what's going on right now. I feel pressure, I feel fear of letting people down because I'm such a people pleaser. Well, that's
Mm.
because you never thought you were enough, and so you're going to strategize to people please, right?
Yeah.
It makes it fills that void up, right?
Yeah. What a
And
trap.
so we just need to honor ourselves as women, right? Where we're at. Just acknowledge it so we can begin to release it, right?
Yeah.
Because you've heard the saying, and what you resist persists.
Mm.
So if you keep
Exactly.
whacking down your feelings, of course, you're never going to like deal with that. You're going to keep trying to control life. You're going to keep busy. You're
Yes.
going to be exhausted. You're going to have burnout.
Yeah.
It's just crazy hamster wheel that we get on as women.
It is. It
It's
is.
crazy, crazy. But this is where the unwinding of it all by someone asking you the right questions, that you get to say, where did
Yeah.
this begin? Right?
Yep.
And a lot of us can like take it way back to like, where did this begin? When's the last time you remember feeling like this? See, when you go to therapy, they just want to like, focus on the problem. And I want to focus on solutions.
Yeah.
And so it's like, where did it start? And does it belong here or does it belong there?
That's
Or we could
powerful.
start rewriting, take a shift and start rewriting those narratives. Start rewriting. That's not our identity. That's
Yeah.
where we were when we were a small child,
Yep.
right? But that's not where we are today. So when we really can tap into that and show people a new beginning, a new chapter to design with some mentorship and some accountability. Like an
Yeah.
accountability that I give people is a lot of fun. I give them challenges and I ask them to opt into them, right? And I give them
Yeah.
something every week to do. And it's not like they're like, what? What do you want me to do?
Oh yeah.
Like I had a coach 15 years ago that had me do things I was crying driving, calling and pulling off the side of the road. I can't do this. He's like, yes, you can. I'm going to stay on the phone with you.
Yeah. I
Right?
love it. I love it. Yeah, because even like my coach, like she was talking about that. She's like, man, for the first 3 years, she said she was like the worst. Like she was awful with her coaches. And she's like, a lot of times people are not going to like it because
Right.
that's kind of part of our job is to kind of help them to have that mirror for them to show
Yeah.
them what they've been
Yeah.
resisting to see. But we do it, we do our best to do it in a loving way, but you also have to kind of do it in a real way, like because it's helping them. We can't
Yeah.
sugarcoat this anymore. It's like, yeah, that's what's been causing you to stay where you are is wanting that easy sugar-coated type transition, but that's not how it works. I mean, and
That's
I
not how it
love
works.
love my coach for like believing and seeing in what was possible for me before I did. That is what I think is the powerful thing about coaches is like how we believe so much in our clients and what is possible for them, even if they're
Yeah.
not there yet. And
Yeah.
that is our goal. And that was one of the biggest transformations I had with, like you said, reframing my language, which I consistently do, because like I did catch myself. I did, because I grew up being told generational curse. And so I always back it up with no generational conditioning because that's why I
Yes.
back it up with that. And I always catch myself too. And I'm like, nope, generational conditioning because now
Yeah.
I know that's what it is. And you're right. It's
Yeah.
not a permanent thing. And I love that because I do that all the time now with me. It's like and I always encourage that reframing. It's okay. We're going to slip up. We're humans. We're going to catch ourselves
Yeah. Yeah.
saying the ugly things that we used to say, but there's nothing wrong with catching that and reframing it
Right.
immediately. Like one of the biggest things was when my coach was like, Mary, you keep saying you can't do this or you don't have this. She said, maybe add the word yet. I don't have this yet. I haven't
Yes.
gotten this yet. And so that was a huge, like, simple thing of adding a word on with something I was struggling that I caught myself saying or whatnot that just changed things so much for me and what I allowed as a possibility. And it's little things like even that would really start helping you to reframe and, like you say, rewrite that story of that. You know what? It's not that you don't have what it takes, is that you're just learning. I'm on a journey to grow and learn and evolve, and it is on its way to me. I'm exactly where I'm meant to be. And I think that it's just
Yep.
little things of just understanding that all of this, all the ups and downs are really creating everything that's meant for us to show up for those who are meant to show up for. And it's like if we could just see it in a different way. That's why I'm on this journey of sharing these stories, because I think it's so, at the end of the day, ultimately, it's kind of the overall same message, but in different ways, because that's just how
Yes.
powerful it is and how
Yes.
different everyone's journey is. But at the same time, we're all on that same journey of being the best versions that we can be and allowing things to unfold in the way they're meant to without fighting against it so much or hindering ourselves from actually getting what we want. Because oh Lord,
Yeah,
we
and
do
we haven't
that.
met our best version. We've only met our
Yeah.
best version as today,
Hey.
right? So when you talk about the internal language and the curse thing, right? It's like the script of the subconscious mind, right? We want to rewrite that. And
Yes.
so what happens is once we pull out, like, and somebody must have done that for you about the curse,
Yes.
when you pull that out, when you finally get to a point where you go, wow, that's what I heard all my life. That subconscious thing now is conscious now. You can't
Yes.
push it back in your subconscious, which is why you can actually flip it so fast now.
Yes.
Because it gets easier and easier and easier, right?
Yep.
We can't push it back. It's kind of like when you first learned how to drive, right? And I learned on a stick shift because I'm older than you are.
Yeah.
And it was like, look at the rearview mirror, the side mirror, don't kill your father, or like make sure you look way behind, and the whole like don't do this with the clutch, and a lot of people, and this might be audio, but like and like you're killing it, right? Because you took
Yeah.
the clutch out too fast, and then you're like like you're wanting to give up and all this stuff. And now we can drive with our leg putting our mascara on. And we show up in our driveway and we don't know how we got there because that's called autopilot. It's just in
Yes.
our subconscious. Or learning as a baby how to eat. We just, hit our face and spaghetti's all over the place. We don't miss our mouth ever.
Yeah. Exactly. It's
Right?
like with
So
walking even. Yeah. I mean,
yeah, it's the same thing.
yeah.
And so once you bring that forward, it gets a little easier, a little easier, a little easier. And let me tell you, when you start working on you and you start taking this journey, and I tell people it's going to be a fantastic journey. Like you are going to learn so much about yourself.
Yeah.
We're going to have so much fun. And some of it's going to be difficult. And sometimes you're going to have to put your courageous hat on, right? And just keep pushing. But if you get stuck, you just give me a call and we'll just, do it together because someone did that for me.
Yeah.
Okay. And then you get to the other side, and what happens is you don't even have to like think about your family. All of a sudden, everyone starts seeing you differently and going, "What's going on with mom? She's not yelling so much anymore." Like she's like, I brought her a problem that I was scared to bring her, and she's like, "Okay, well, let's sit down and talk about it." Versus me, what the, whatever it is for you, right?
Yes, yeah.
Yeah. When I was younger, I used to get so angry and I would throw things. I mean, nothing that would hurt anybody, but I don't do that anymore.
Yeah.
Now, if someone makes some comment to me and I have a water ball in front of me, it's kind of one of those funny things that I just like, oof, then I got to that point. Now I don't even do that anymore. But
And
like, it's
yeah.
just we learn how to live in a playful kind of ongoing, courageous society,
Yeah.
and for ourselves. And it does like just by osmosis, it permeates out, right?
Yes.
And it helps everybody that comes into our path.
Oh yeah.
So, and then it's just really, practicing like we're talking about, right? Just ease
Mm-hmm.
becomes a daily practice. It's not something you're achieving, or you
Yes.
earned it.
Yes.
It's just embodying it through breath and presence and movement and boundaries and self-trust of yourself and
Mm-hmm.
knowing that we're all on this journey,
Yeah.
you know?
And it's what you make of it, right? And it's like I've never once
Absolutely.
met anybody who has been in the presence of a coach who has been on this journey of personal development and it ruined their lives or they regret it. You know what I mean? Like there it is such a wonderful way to live your life and to embrace what is available for us. And so I always encourage people, give it a chance because there's so because it's for you 100%. This is not about us. It's about you. It's about helping
Right.
you have the life that you deserve. You just may not realize or you don't even maybe like I said sometimes like you're right there's an external pressure of like how our life should look like, how our businesses should look like, or how we should feel. And I love helping people to really get aligned with who they are and what they want. Like, what does
Yeah, it
success
can't
look like for you, right?
it can't look any different today because
Yeah.
it doesn't. It's because you are where you are today.
Yeah.
But it could look very different tomorrow with a little tiny bit of action, different movement. Little bit,
Yeah.
little bit, little bit, little bit. So I'm always saying, people, you're not really lost. We're just simply inviting you to listen to you. It's an
Mm-hmm.
invitation.
Yeah.
It's giving yourself permission to actually listen to yourself, just to
Oh,
slow down a little bit, just to really listen to what's
yeah.
going on internally and having somebody like a coach kind of help you along.
Yeah.
Like if you could
Absolutely.
just start, like I started my pause journey by taking walks to my mailbox just to get
Oh,
out of the chaos, right?
yeah.
Walk down the hill, grab the mail, take as long as I needed to, whatever I needed to do.
Yeah.
Sometimes I just sat, soaked up the sun, so my pause was a little bit longer than
Yes.
others.
So,
And sometimes it's just people just setting a 5 minute, just a timer, right?
yeah.
No phone, no noise, just breathe, ask yourself, what do I need right now? Don't try to fix it, just notice it.
Mm-hmm.
That's the first place that you can really take a pause. I know women that wake up in the middle of the night, and they eat bonbons on their counter in the pitch black because that's their moment to just go, I
Yeah.
mean, just unwind, right? So it's different for everybody.
Yes.
But yeah, I mean, if
It's
there's one thing I want people to understand that you don't have to earn the rest. You don't need a
mm,
crisis to have a pause, which is
yeah.
exactly what we do. A crisis, and all of a sudden, oh my God, let me just take a moment to figure out how to fix this. Well,
Yeah.
you know, we can just do that on a regular basis for ourselves and stop performing and just start listening to yourself because that's where the real power comes back and returns to you.
It does.
Our true essence of who we are at our pit of our belly,
I love it. Oh.
right?
Yes, yes. And I mean it again, this is such a powerful journey and it's so important to allow ourselves to have that time for ourselves. I mean, for me with you, with like with the mailbox, in the beginning for me, it was even just going to the bathroom. And even that was hard because Lord knows I don't have just one or two toddlers coming in. I got dogs trying to come in
Yeah.
there. It's like I couldn't get a moment. Everyone wants to be around mommy all the time. But,
I know, but
you know,
guys can always go to the toilet and stay in there forever.
ever. I know because you know what it is? They get lost in their phones, I think, and, and they claim they're using the
Well,
bathroom. And I'm
ain't
like,
always happening before phones,
yeah,
honey.
right. Ah, that's true. That's
Right?
true. Yeah, yeah. They do take forever, don't they? But yeah, so it's like, but it's all about though. For me, it's my favorite thing. It's taking those moments, especially on my busy days, of just allowing myself those times to just, even like if it's a 90-second meditation, it doesn't have to be extravagant. It doesn't have to be crazy, but I mean, any little thing that you can do. And of course, that's why I love the summertime because it's like even just going outside, like you say, getting that vitamin D, that sunlight on your skin,
Yeah.
just enjoying the sounds of nature, feeling that warmth for me it makes all the difference. But yeah, and also I'd love to hear a little bit more about, some of the experiences you've had with your clients as far as that you could share with the audience of some of the success that you've seen them have that can be just a way to motivate and inspire moms right now of like things that you've seen.
Yeah. So, I usually take people through a timeline of their life, like a fun exercise. It's a good fun
Yeah.
exercise everybody can do. And so what I do is go get the big old post-it notes, right? Like the big things that you stick on the wall. You can just put on your dining room table. And I still have mine. I had like 12 sheets all over my dining room.
I
Filled
love
my
that.
dining room, and then as I did them, I put them on my wall. They were all there.
Yeah.
And I took my whole timeline, right? And I'm like, okay, this happened, and this happened, and this happened, and this happened. And I used fun colors because I wanted to be a fun kind of experience, and I put some music on, okay?
Yeah.
And so what I saw was, wow, all this stuff happened to me. And it actually made me realize some of the things that I loved that I was no longer doing. Some of the things that happened in my life, I'm like, wow, I can see how now that those things did work for me, not against me, even though they were very tragic,
Yeah.
right? That
Yeah.
actually has me where I am today. But after I did this exercise, and sometimes I always say no judgment, no opinion, it's an awareness exercise. And sometimes you get stuck and you might want to cry a little bit, right? And things come up for you, but that's a good place for us to talk about when we come
Yeah.
back together. And then I want you to take this whole experience and do a timeline, right? Like this happened, and this happened, and this happened, and this happened. And I did this for myself many years ago. And what I saw was every 7 years, something crazy happened to me,
Oh.
right? And so I was able to really look at this and go, okay, I stopped doing this, which what I really loved. Why did I stop doing that? Because someone told me I was bad at it. And so in my mind, I'm like, I'm bad at it. Just better stop it and find something else. So that's one of the biggest things that my clients find out. I just had a client that I've been working with for over a year. Went back in her timeline and she brought up dancing, acting, and singing. And she stopped it. Okay, I don't know why. And so we just put a little thing in place that she was going to turn her garage into a dance studio and start teaching and choreographing things with her 7-year-old daughter.
Oh.
And she loved it. And then it moved into, well, I think I want to take an acting class again. And now she's doing showcases. She's getting an acting manager.
Look at
And
that.
today, it's been over 12 months, but this is where we came from, right? And to
Yeah.
here. And then another thing we went to, she had a really grief-stricken moment, which is how I met her. She was working for a very high-powered stage presence woman, national speaker, and she passed away suddenly. And so they had a celebration of life for her at this conference we were at, and that's how I met her. I
Wow.
was checking in with her, like, every couple of months to see how she was doing. And then we went through this process, right? So it's been way over a year now that I've been coaching her. And she was grieving, but she wasn't ready. That wasn't a place. You got to be really careful as a coach of, any sort of coach, that you don't push people where they're not ready to go. You got to really like know where they're at. And so we just did little daily things, like dealing with daily life, getting her moving. Maybe she changed her job. She did all these things to
Yeah.
bring more joy into her life, looking for joy in all the places, right? And
Hmm.
eventually, literally just like 3 months ago, I took her on the journey to go out in nature and go do her grieving because she was ready. And she still didn't think she was ready. I'm like, no, you're ready.
Love
You're
it.
ready.
Yeah.
So I don't think she did it the first week, but she
Hmm.
did it the second week. And then we talked about it, and that's when the acting went in full force.
Wow.
Okay.
I
So
love
it's
that.
just that, right?
Yeah.
And not apologizing for who she is anymore,
Oof.
just little things, right?
That's huge right
Just,
there. Not
Yeah.
apologizing for who you are right there. Oh my
Right.
gosh.
And learning how to say no. That was another big thing that, a lot of women and I went through as well as like
Yeah.
looking at it and go, okay, this thing is coming to me and I say yes to everything because
Oh my gosh.
people
Yes, yes, yes,
pleasing
yes,
for
yes.
so long, right?
Yeah.
And now I'm going, does it align? So once you start really looking at what you want your life to look like, family, your career, you, personal time, you know, parent, your whole world, right? Once you start really looking at what they say and somebody comes into you and asks you to do something, you're like, you take a moment. You don't say yes right away. You're like,
Yeah.
does it align with my goals, my family, me, my personal time? And the answer could be no. And you get to say no. You know what? That's really not going to work in my timeline this year. Like, thank you so much. I'm so flattered that you asked, and I wish you all the luck, but I'm not your person,
Yep. And that's power in itself. And there's nothing
right?
wrong with that.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
I'm really careful what I say yes to.
Yeah. Yeah.
This last year, I said yes to 30 podcasts. You're one of my last of the year. I think I
Oh.
have four more. That was the goal this
Mm-hmm.
last year, right? On top of all the
Yeah.
other things I do. This next year is all about me being out on the road, networking,
Nice. Yeah.
being
Love
in front of
networking.
more women and more women groups, and you know what I
Yeah.
mean,
Oh yeah.
and getting more women into this thing that we're doing. I
I love
call
that.
it a movement across the United States, but not a movement
Yeah.
in a feminine area. It's all about like, really
Yeah.
embracing your femininity and not
Yeah.
taking on the masculine. Let the masculine do the masculine and let us do the feminine.
Yes.
Now, it always, kind of goes around. Men can empty dishwashers, you know.
Yes. Yes, I can.
You know what I mean? And we can take the garbage out once in a while, right? So, I mean, anyway, but what I'm
I
saying
love
is,
it.
like we just need to own who
Mm.
we are, and then it
Yeah.
allows women to care and nurture and blossom, which actually helps their families and their kids. And you can actually see things in your children now.
Yes. Oh
I've
my gosh.
changed the way as an
Oh, I love
adult mom
that. Hmm.
with my kids, and helped my own daughter get through some of her constraints.
Oh.
Okay, so because now, they
Mhm.
call me all the time. I have a different relationship with them, you know. But I was a really, really tough mom because as a mom of three for 26 years, right?
Nice
Like I was
single.
always like a single mom for so long.
Yeah.
I had to be tougher. I had to keep it in line, right? And it worked. And now, they're wonderful human beings, So,
Yeah.
and I'm so proud of them all. Two of them work for me, and one of them is a fireman. My
Oh
son's a
wow.
fireman. So, yeah.
Wonderful.
So, I mean, wonderful human beings,
Mhm.
all with families now, and I couldn't be more proud of them.
Gosh.
But that happened because I changed my narratives,
Yeah.
right? I was like, no, I am a good mom. I do
Exactly.
matter. I do need to have a voice and help them. And I need to be seen. And now grandkids are here, and I'm like, I got to go back to California.
I love
Right?
it. Yes, yes. And that's beautiful because that's exactly why I'm so passionate about helping moms is because we model for kids, whether we want to or not, like they are always watching us. And so it's so important that they see that we're taking care of ourselves and that we're following our dreams and we're showing them that anything's possible, you know?
Yeah,
And
because the stuff that we carry forward, right? Like,
mhm,
when we talk about what we talk about your language, right? It's like kids pick up on that.
I do.
So if you don't want your kids to live the life you live, not to saying that that's all gonna happen, right?
Yeah.
Because things are different. But a lot of this stuff we bring back generationally and we put it
Hmm.
upon them, we don't even think we're doing it, right?
Oh, right.
Your mom did it to you.
Yeah.
So if
Yeah.
we can change that dynamic with the kids,
Yeah.
right? So they can really hone in on who they are and be their true selves. Because, I always give this other example, of, little kids that get up on the counter and they want to get the cookie jar, like, and someone tells them, no, don't go up there, you're going to get hurt. Well, now they go out in the corporate world and they don't want to go to the top of the chain because they're going to get hurt, right? They think that, no, we're not going to
Yeah.
go up there. I'm going to stay down here where it's safe,
Ugh.
because it's, a lot of politics or whatever it is. But you may be a great politician, right?
Yeah.
Now, will you get hurt up at the top, the top floor? Yes, you have
Yeah.
to have like a big backbone. I mean, I've learned in my career that my backbone's got to get really, really strong because people are just jealous of your career. People are jealous of your success,
Yeah.
and it's just the way the world is. And so you got to be really tough to be able to like not let other people's words come into your world, right?
Exactly. Absolutely. And you're right. And that's part of our subconscious like brain's job. It's always to protect us. It thinks it's protecting us. And so we don't realize how much that holds us back
Yep.
in
Yep.
so many areas of our life that of what we actually want. So it's that man, I didn't even it's such a great analogy because I didn't even think about that. Like of how we always are like, don't do this because you're going to get hurt, or how we put that without even realizing into our kids that that could relay back into their adult life. But it
Yeah,
is.
I love the fact that my son, my son, his son's gonna be 2 in a couple weeks,
Oh.
and just kind of letting him do his thing, but
Mm-hmm.
watching to make, you're not gonna
Yeah.
let him get hurt. But
Yeah.
I'm like, if he falls, it's okay if he falls. He can get
Mm-hmm.
back up, right?
Yep.
Because he's gonna be fine. And just keeping him out of danger, but let kids be kids. That's how they're
Yeah.
gonna learn, right? That's how they become resilient, right?
It is so true. That's how I am with my son. He's 4 years old and he is he's so courageous and the things that he'll go and do. And I don't want to hold him back from that. I don't want to be that helicopter
Yeah,
kind of
yeah,
because
yeah.
I was
Well,
kind of like
that's the
I was
term,
like that.
right?
Yeah, I was like that with my very first son because I was a single mom with him for a while and I was a new mom and I didn't have the
Yeah,
kind of resources or the
yeah.
support that's available today. So I had no clue. I was scared of every little thing I was doing. I was second guessing myself. I just didn't really have anyone to turn to. I was thankful I had my mom with her support, but even she, oh my goodness, I love her to death, but she's also very much like that of
Yeah,
like, oh, be
yeah,
careful and oh,
yeah,
don't do this and oh, you
yeah,
have to,
yeah,
so it was really challenging. It was really challenging with him, but I was grateful that the one thing with me, no matter how many bad relationships I had, and I lot a little bit of credit goes to Disney, but I never stopped believing in true love, like ever. I've
yeah,
always believed that there was
yeah,
someone out there for me. And yes, it took me a long time, but you know what it took? It took me realizing through life coaching, of course, that I had to become the woman I would want to be as a wife in order to attract the
yeah,
right man. I didn't realize that, hello, of course I'm attracting these losers because you attract who you are. And at the
yeah,
time, I thought I was a loser. I didn't love myself. I didn't really care about myself. I always, you know, I always had these insecurities. And don't get me wrong, when I first met my husband today, I had still a little bit insecurities, but I had been working for so long, for a good year in my life of like reframing my beliefs about myself and
yeah.
what I was
Good,
worthy of and what I
good.
deserved and really kind of allowing myself to even study and realize, okay, what is it that I really want in a relationship and what, don't I want? Because I think that that's important to put out there in the universe and to God. Like, this is what I want and this is what I don't want. And lo and behold, like, that's what I love about God. It's like through me just taking chances and putting myself out there,
Yeah.
we found each other. And here we are, 10 years later, 7 years of marriage and two more kids. He adopted my
Wow,
firstborn.
good for
Yeah. So it's like,
you.
I got that, but that's because I just never stopped believing that it's always possible and that he's out there and I will find
Well,
him.
and
But
you gotta keep communicating too, because
yeah.
I've just started my journey on the dating world again.
Oh,
In my 60s.
hey.
Very
Oh, girl.
interesting.
You
But
don't
I'm
even
pretty
look.
clear about what I want,
Yeah.
and I've put myself in some
Hmm.
uncomfortable situations, but for growth purposes.
Yes.
And yeah, I'm like, I'm just going to be me. I'm just going to be all me. And
Always.
it's either going to work or not work. And so what I say now is I'm very connected to the person that I'm like, with,
Hmm.
but I'm not attached.
Oh, yes. Love
So the
that.
difference is connected means you're with the person, like
Hmm.
good stuff's happening and you're living life and doing what you're doing. But like if the person was to leave,
Yeah.
I'm going to be okay. Will I be sad? Sure, I'll be sad. But
Yeah.
here's the deal about relationships. We're always looking out there for
Hmm.
the person, but really everything you need is inside of you. So
Yeah.
it's really about how you feel
Hmm.
when you're with someone.
Yeah.
So I was very in tune this time to go, how am I feeling when I'm with this person? The feeling, like who I am, the version of myself when I'm
Yeah.
with someone. I love that person. But I can have that with anybody, really,
Hmm.
right? Because it's inside of me.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm saying I'm very connected but unattached.
Hmm.
Like,
And
if I was to get married again someday or something, obviously there would be an attachment there, right? But like I'm not in
yeah.
that place.
But it'd be a healthy
So
one.
but it would be a
Yeah.
very healthy one.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yes.
But I'm,
Sure.
and I don't like to use the BUT word because that kind of negates everything. However, I'm very open
Yeah.
to the possibility, right,
Yeah.
of something amazing coming into my life because of who I am, the love that's inside of me, right?
I
So,
love that. And I hope you keep doing that. I mean,
yeah,
I remember, trust me, I've had so many failed relationships. I've even been through a
I
physical
have too.
abusive
So,
relationship. So I have been through some
yeah,
things. And so but anything is possible. And like what I love is that you're doing it in a way of being true to yourself. So many of
yeah,
us, like, you always hear everyone puts their best foot forward in the beginning. It's like, no. I love that you're doing that, being real who you are, because if someone can accept you for who you are from the very get-go, they're not worth your time. They're just not worth your time.
yeah,
And there's no point in trying to fake it or be something you're not in order to just to have someone that it's so
yeah. No,
beautiful. One
that's
thing
not, you know,
yeah, exactly. I'm telling you, because as someone who I have never been more real with a man in my life like I am with him, the way we get to communicate and talk and be very real and get through the ups and downs in a very amazing, beautiful way, like we do, like even through the ugly stuff. Like I love it, love it, love it. I can't even
yeah,
I just never
yeah,
experienced anything like that. And it is possible. It doesn't matter where you are on your journey. It is always possible. You just have to keep believing and keep showing up and just, like you say, be open. Just be open to receiving it if it's meant for you and
yeah,
believe that it is and that it
yeah,
will happen exactly when it's meant to. And then just keep having fun with it because, like you say, man, that was the biggest learning for me was when I dated because it was like through those interactions that I was like, I like this, and then it was other times like, oh God, no, like I
oh yeah,
know,
no, no,
I
yeah,
didn't know, I'm
yeah.
good with that, like I'm
Yeah,
good,
and
but
you really have to ask yourself, if am I being triggered? I always talk about triggers,
oh
right? Because
yes,
from the time you're triggered to your reaction or your,
yeah,
response, right?
hmm
That's where the real work happens. If you're getting triggered by something,
yeah,
right, and you have a
yeah,
big reaction to it, that's when we need to stop and go, okay, is this me and my past stuff? It's just something that doesn't align with who I truly am, and I'm getting
yeah,
triggered.
yeah,
What's going on there, right?
yeah,
And a lot of people, if you really are honest with yourself, it's about control. You're getting triggered because you can't control the situation,
Mhm.
you know?
Yeah, you know how that can be.
Yeah,
Just like with the
yeah,
perfection. I mean,
yeah,
hey, you know what? That's
yeah,
exactly why we're here. That's exactly why we're talking about this stuff. It's so real, but it's so important because, again, we need to stop being so hard on ourselves. We can do this. We
yeah,
got this, but
yeah,
it does
yeah,
take, like you say, small, daily, intentional actions towards,
yeah,
reframing,
yeah,
being aware, being willing to do something different, getting a little out of your comfort zones, being open to things and seeing what comes your way. Like it's amazing what will happen and show up when you just start showing up for you. Just
yeah. And then
watch.
just let people be them.
Yeah.
Let people be who they are in the
Yeah.
moment. And your
Exactly.
response can change things just by you working on you.
Very, very much so. Very much so, Karen. Oh my gosh.
I
I
mean, it was
love.
interesting because I just had
Yeah.
a situation with somebody who was out of control, wanted to take her husband or ex-husband back to court and blah blah blah. She was ready to get in the car and she was like out the door going to the courthouse, right? And
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, so let's just stop for a moment and ask me what is the outcome you want to get from doing that today,
Such a
right?
powerful question. Hmm.
What was the outcome? And I'm like, let me just tell you that outcome's not happening today. If that's the outcome that you want, then here's the three things that you're going to have to prove to get that outcome.
Ooh.
Are you going to be able to prove those three things? Only because was a divorce mediator for many, many years. And so I kind of
Oh,
know
see.
how the
Yeah.
courts work, so, and the answer was like, no to two of them, maybe yes to one immediately. And I'm like, all right, but like, first of all, what time is it? How long is it going to take you to get there? They're going to be
Mm.
closed by the time you get there. So like, you know what I mean? You know,
Yep. And I mean,
versus
okay.
being in a spiral for the next four
Yes.
hours
Oh
because you're
yeah.
so your
Yeah.
adrenaline's so out of whack. And
Yes.
anything could have happened. She could have gotten in the car, gotten in an accident, blah, blah, blah,
Yeah.
blah. But I'm like, let's just back it up just a little bit. And a lot of time when you're in that phase, you really can't do that for yourself.
Yeah.
But you can go, okay, I'm out of control right now. And I just need to jump on a treadmill. Or I
Ooh.
need to, whatever it's going to be,
Yeah.
you know,
Pause, like you say. That's so powerful.
just
I just stop and think about it
pause.
before, because like, man, that is something for me. I felt like was huge is my reactions. I was so bad about just initially reacting to stuff out of
Yeah,
being
you go from
triggered.
A to Z like really
Oh my
fast.
goodness. And that's when I was like, this isn't who I am, nor is this who I'd want to be in life. Like I love being
Yeah.
kind and
Yeah.
fun and laid
Yeah.
back. Like that's when I kind of had a clue that something's not right with me. Like as far as like why am I being reacting like this? Why am I feeling these things? And so I love the pause because sometimes when we just take a moment to really think things out, think it
Right.
through, then it's so much, it's so awesome the way we can choose to be like, oh, you know what? Instead, I get to respond this way. Like you say, the
Yeah, and I
outcome.
can give you a story if we have
Yeah.
just a couple more
Yeah.
minutes. So what happened to me between the ages of 8 and 11, I had some molestation happen back then, which is what I kind of
Yeah.
hinted on a little bit
Yeah.
in the beginning.
I do.
But what happened out of that is people called me a liar.
Oh,
And obviously I wasn't a liar. It happened.
yeah.
But I was never able to talk about that again. It's like the family just like left, went, got called a liar. I heard about that I was called a liar. So when I went out into the real world, if anybody ever said I was lying about something, I was like, rage. Because
Oh,
I'm the most honest person in the world. I don't
yeah.
even know when I've lied about anything.
Yeah.
So I would just rage and like, what do you mean I'm not lying? This was my younger
Mm,
self. But I was able to like just stop for a minute and I'm like, that is not true. I don't need to defend myself anymore.
yeah.
That is something I would have loved to defend back then,
Yeah.
right? And and proven myself, but I wasn't able to. And so now, I don't. It doesn't even affect me.
Yeah.
If someone's like, "Well, you're not telling the truth, or you're lying about that," I'm like, "Oh, well, that is your perception of
Yeah.
reality, and this is not my perception, and it's okay for both of us to have our own perception."
Yeah.
Because here's the deal:
I like
that
that.
person calling people liars is
Yeah.
something that happened to them in their past. I didn't live in their house.
Yeah.
I didn't go to school with them. I don't know if they were bullied. I don't know what their teachers did. I don't know what their
Yeah.
coaches did. I don't have their life. And people can only love you. I have this on my chalkboard and I tell people this all the time. People can't give you something they don't have. They can give you the best of what they do have.
Oh.
And that is love by their definition.
Definition. Mm,
Okay.
that's awesome.
Okay, so because I never heard that I was loved as a small child. I don't remember. And literally, I just asked my dad this like 6 months ago. I'm like, Dad, I don't ever remember anyone telling us that you loved us when we were younger. No, but our generation, we just thought you knew it just because we lived life.
Mm,
I'm like, that makes sense,
yeah.
you
But
know?
yeah. And then look at us now. For me, I mean,
I
I
don't get off
was,
the phone. I don't do anything without I love you and a
I
kiss on
love
the
you.
cheek or whatever, blah, 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 right?
We're like
We're on the other end.
overcompensating. Yes, we're overcompensating, but it's okay. I don't care.
Overcompensating.
I don't care. I love it because I'm the same way with my kids and
Right,
everything. But
right,
it's beautiful, right? It's
right.
so beautiful that we get to do that. We get to change their our narratives and helping them in
Yeah.
a different way to have a more positive upbringing. Like with my daughter,
Mm.
especially, and my kids, I love having her like repeat, like, I am beautiful, I am worthy, I am strong, I am brave. And just getting her to say that at 6 years old, like it's like, we started when she was like five or what, 4 or 5, but just getting her to kind of speak that, even though she may not fully understand it, to me is so
But you can
powerful.
give her the experience.
Yeah,
If you
exactly.
slap an experience with words,
Mm-hmm.
then it becomes reality.
Oh, I love that.
Okay,
Yes.
so if I give a challenge to somebody
Mm-hmm.
that says I'm not beautiful, like I have a client actually that this has happened.
Yeah.
So I can give you a perfect example. And she's in her 30s. It doesn't feel beautiful. And so the challenge was every morning to get up, get ready, send me a picture. Get up, get ready, send me a picture. Like every day, every day, every day, every day. The transformation from this woman when she showed up on our coach calls, and now she can say, I'm beautiful.
Ah,
It's not just a thing
yeah.
that she says, it's something she feels
Feels.
inside of her, right?
I love
Or
that.
I am strong, right? Strong in
Yes.
what category? Well, let's go try that on for size, right?
Yes. Yes.
Because when you do an experiential exercise with people, that's when it really actually gets in them. There's evidence now, right?
Yeah.
I have evidence that's inside of me, right? That's why I'm like this whole manifestation. Like I love that you're doing that with with your daughter. That's a great start. But I always say, let's give them an experiential adventure,
Mm-hmm.
an experiential journey on like what that truly is, so it's embedded forever.
Oh yes, I love that. You're right, because I mean, well, through her, when she goes to even to the doctor's office or things that where she's in fear, I love to help her and like let her see, it's okay. Like she'll get through it, and she's stronger for it. Because yes, we're gonna have things that are uncomfortable or
Yeah,
painful or
yeah,
scary as crap, but
yeah,
you know what? It's all
yeah.
about just getting through it
And
Yeah.
that's what makes you strong. And I love being able to tell her that and then to
Yeah.
watch her get through it and then be like, look at you. You're so brave. You're so courageous. You did it. Like, I love, you're
Yeah.
right that I never even really put that together. And that's something, thank you. Again, see, I love this journey because I learn something
Yeah.
new
Yeah.
every time from my
Yeah.
guests too. So it's
Yeah.
like,
Yeah, I
so
mean, like if you think about
yeah.
high school and middle school, they're the worst for girls actually
Oh,
because there's bullies and girls are mean and
yes.
they're jealous and they're just mean girls.
Yeah.
And my daughter went through that and she was bullied and she's 25 now, So, and I look back and I'm like, they're just jealous.
Yeah.
Like, so
Yeah.
even if you're beautiful and a girl can say you're so ugly and blah, 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 those words really hurt.
They do. They
And so
do.
if you sit there and just say, I'm beautiful, I'm beautiful, I'm beautiful, but somebody on the outside world attacks you in that way, that attack is going to take over my words that keep telling myself I'm beautiful, I'm beautiful. You got to know you
Wait.
are.
Yes.
So that
Yes.
attack like stays out there. It never, I call it bouncing,
Mm-hmm.
like, like a bouncing ball.
Yeah.
Like if you bounce a ball, it just goes away, right? It doesn't come back to you unless
Exactly.
you have some special ball that you
Right.
bounce in
Yeah.
place.
Yeah. Right.
And I'm sure there are some out there.
Yeah.
But what
Yeah.
I'm saying is, just let it bounce off you. If it hits you,
Yeah.
just don't let it get through your skin.
Yeah.
Just let it bounce. It
Yeah.
belongs over there
Yeah,
with the
exactly.
person or thing that brought it over here.
Exactly, like water off a duck's back. Yeah,
That's
like
right.
yes, exactly. I
It
love
doesn't
that. I love
belong over here.
yes,
Some of it does, and you can actually take it on and absorb it. But
Yeah.
a lot of stuff that happens, especially
Yeah.
young girls,
Oh,
it just doesn't belong.
trust me, I get it. And I wish I had things like this when I was in
I do
yeah, I
too.
would kill. Like that's why exactly why I'm doing this too, because I would have
Yeah.
saved myself so much suffering in some of the decisions I ended up making or the situations I put myself in because I was so desperate for approval and to feel
Yeah.
like I was
Yeah.
beautiful, even though I
Yeah.
was, but I didn't believe it. Oh gosh, yeah. But it's all good because here we are now. And I'm grateful. I have no
Here we are
regrets because
now.
it's all prepared me and molded us to be able to help in this way and make
Yes.
this difference for people. So,
Yes.
Karen, if anyone's listening and they would love to connect with you, learn more about what you do, where is the best place for them to find you?
The best place to find me easy are my website at karenbartholomew.com, which you'll find everything in there. There's some freebies on the resource page as well. And I have a book coming out next year as well on the pause method. But you can also go to my Instagram, which is just Karen Bartholomew. It's a purple shirt. There's 2 different ones. Make sure you grab the one with the purple blouse, okay? It's just all together, Karen Bartholomew. And in my bio is all the links so you can find everything. I have a course that's starting on Saturday for the pause method. It's a 5-week course. And there's a big bonus, for people that, decide to sign up. And then there's also like a discussion that's happening tomorrow about it. So anyway, there's stuff on there and my website's on there too. So if you want to find everything, you can either go
Yes.
to the website or you can go to Instagram, whatever your preference is.
I love it. I love it. And we'll make sure to put everything in the show notes for you as well. And of course, I always open the floor. Is there any final piece of advice that you would like to leave listeners with today?
Well, I would say no matter what age you are, I would say find a mentor. Find a mentor and just keep staying on the journey to just find your true essence of who you are. Because most of the things we tell ourselves are not our truth.
That is so beautiful, Karen. Thank you so much for everything you shared with us today and just for being the amazing woman you are. You are incredible. You're
you.
doing wonderful things. And I'm just so excited
You
for
as
you.
well.
Thank you. Thank you. I'm very excited to be on this journey, very grateful. And I'm, like I said, getting to meet women like you makes it so worth it all. And just, yeah, we got this. We're going to keep going.
Yeah. All right. Okay.
Thank you so much for being,
Thank you so
thank
much.
you.
Mama, here are the powerful truths from today's conversation that I want you to hold on to. Your story is not your identity. You can rewrite your narrative at any moment you choose. Pausing is healing. When you stop long enough to listen, clarity rises to meet you. Emotional clutter creates emotional patterns. Letting go frees your mind, body, and relationships. You are allowed to rest without apology. Rest is where power regenerates. Boundaries protect your energy, not your ego. They create safety for your growth. Understanding your triggers gives you agency. They point to what needs love, attention, and release. Self-mentorship is sacred. Becoming the woman you needed creates the woman your future needs. Empowerment begins when you shift from reaction to conscious choice. Your next chapter depends on it. If you want to learn more about today's incredible guest, Karen, you'll find all her links in the show notes. Thank you, beautiful mama, for spending this time with us today. If this conversation stirred something inside of you, if it opened your heart or reminded you that your story is still being written, trust that feeling, because registration has officially opened for something I created specifically for moms like you. Your 2026 Vision, the Year You Rise, January 12th at 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. This is not just a workshop, it's a recalibration, a reset, a reclaiming of the woman you're becoming. Inside this intimate experience, you're going to gain clarity, confidence, and inner alignment to enter 2026 as the most grounded, empowered version of yourself you've ever met. So if your soul has been craving change, if you're ready to rise from old patterns, and if you know you're meant for more, your seat is waiting. You can register now using the link in the show notes. And if you need deeper support right now, if you're carrying more than you can hold and you're ready to finally lay some of it down, I would love to meet you for a free Limitless Mom Strategy call. This is your hour to be fully seen, fully heard, and fully supported. Whether or not we work together afterward, you're still going to leave with clarity, direction, and hope, because you deserve that. And if you love this episode, please subscribe, share it with another mom who needs this message, and leave a review. It truly helps this podcast reach more women who are ready to rise. Until next time, pause, breathe, and remember, you are the author of the woman you are becoming. Much love.